Welcome back to my channel Coins World. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating history of the 5-cent coin from 1978, a small yet powerful piece of history that carries with it an incredible story of design, economy, and national identity. Though it may seem ordinary at first glance, this coin has layers of heritage that many collectors overlook, and its story is so engaging that it will make you see this coin in a completely different light. The 1978 5-cent coin belongs to a significant era when many nations were transitioning in their coinage systems, reflecting the challenges of inflation, modernization, and changing cultural values. Coins like the 5 centavo in the Philippines, or the 5 cents in countries like Australia, the United States, or Canada represented much more than their face value. They were the everyday currency of working families, the jingling change in pockets, and the symbol of economic resilience. In a decade of global change. By the late 1970s, the world economy was facing shifts caused by oil crises, rising production costs, and debates about the future of smaller denominations. Yet governments continued to produce coins like the 5-cent piece to maintain balance in the monetary system. In the Philippines, for example, the 5 centimo coin minted in 1978 was part of the second coin series introduced under the Central Bank of the Philippines, designed to create a modern identity for the nation as currency after independence and the earlier changes following World War II. This small bronze coin bore the profile of a Filipino hero on one side, a patriotic reminder that even in everyday transactions, people were carrying a piece of their nation's history in their hands. On the reverse side, the coin featured the official seal of the central bank, a powerful image of stability and trust at a time when economic challenges were mounting. Meanwhile, in countries like Australia, the 1978 5-cent coin featured the iconic echidna design, which had become a beloved image of national pride since the introduction of decimal currency in 1966. The coin was made of copper nickel and, though small, its durability ensured it would circulate for decades. Collectors today often appreciate these coins for their craftsmanship and the fact that they remind us of a simpler time in everyday trade. The American nickel, also valued at 5 cents in 1978, was another fascinating case. The Jefferson nickel design had already been circulating for decades and was widely recognized, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. By 1978, billions had been produced, but sharp-eyed collectors look for unique minting errors, doubled dies, or unusually well-preserved specimens that can fetch much higher values today. In terms of circulation, the 5-cent coin was incredibly important in 1978, whether it was used to buy candy at a corner store, pay for small bus fares, or contribute to larger sums in markets. The coins most beloved coins in American history. By the early 1930s, the 1932 issue holds a particularly interesting place, not only because of its scarcity, but also due to the historical context in which it was minted. 1932 was one of the harshest years of the Great Depression, Millions of Americans were out of work, banks were failing, and the U.S. Mint dramatically reduced coin production since fewer coins were needed in circulation. This scarcity directly affected the mintage of the Lincoln wheat penny in 1932, making it a coin of notable rarity among the wheat cent series. 1932 penny carried the same design that Victor David Brenner created in 1909, a verse front bust of Abraham Lincoln, the first U.S. president ever to appear on circulating coinage facing right with the motto, "In God We Trust" above liberty to the left, and the date 1932 to the right. Two wheat stalks encircling the denomination, 1 cent and the country name, United States of America. At the top was the motto E pluribus unum. This design had become a patriotic and economic symbol, especially during the Depression era. Only 2 mints struck Lincoln wheat pennies in 1932. San Francisco did not produce any cents that year. The relatively low mintages compared to previous years contribute to the coin's desirability among collectors. Because of the low demand for coinage during the Depression, far fewer pennies were struck, and many were heavily used in circulation. High-grade examples, especially in uncirculated mint state condition, are quite rare today. While millions were minted, relatively few have survived without wear. It weighed 3.11 grams and measured 19 millimeters in diameter. This composition would remain standard until World War II, when the mint temporarily switched to steel cents in 1943 due to copper shortages. 193 to penny, while not the rarest of the wheat series, is considered a semi-key date due to low mintage. Its value varies widely based on condition. Many Americans struggling to survive the Depression, a single penny had real purchasing power. Pennies could buy small items like matches, chewing gum, or a portion of bread. The 1932 penny thus carried not only monetary value but also a symbol of thrift, perseverance, and the nation's resilience. 1932 Lincoln wheat penny is sought after by collectors completing a full Lincoln cent album. Its scarcity in higher grades ensures it remains a highlight of the early 1930s issues. Collectors especially prize coins with original red luster which have not toned to brown over the decades. 1932 Liberty wheat penny is more than just a small copper coin. It is a relic of America's hardest economic times. It represents the struggles of the Great Depression, the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the artistry of early 20th century U.S. coinage. Owning one is like holding a piece of history. 1932 penny was minted during one of the darkest chapters of U.S. economic history. The Great Depression was at its peak. Unemployment had skyrocketed to nearly 25%. Factories were shutting down, and farm incomes had collapsed. Because of this, fewer coins were needed in circulation. Banks already had more coins than the public demanded, so the U.S. Mint deliberately reduced production across all denominations. This explains the relatively low mintage of 1932 Lincoln cents. When Victor David Brenner designed the Lincoln cent in 1909, he broke tradition by placing a real person on a circulating coin. By 1932, Lincoln's portrait had become an accepted national symbol. During the Depression, his face on the humble penny carried even more weight, reminding people of a president who had led the nation through the Civil War. The penny was more than money, it was a patriotic emblem that ordinary Americans saw and used daily. One unusual aspect of the 1932 issue is that only 2 mints produced it, Philadelphia and Denver. The San Francisco Mint, which had regularly struck cents since 1909, did not issue any pennies that year. This makes the 1932s non-existent, which often surprises new collectors, who expect to find all 3 mint marks for the year, because pennies were still vital to everyday purchases. The 1932 wheat cent saw heavy use in circulation. This is why so few high-quality examples remain today. Most were worn down quickly through daily handling used for bus fares.